J. Peterson always.
That was 12 seconds.
Chris, just let me know when to go. Hey, y'all. April J. Peterson always coming to you with the April Facts. So listen, this one-on-one episode is very dear to my heart, and I'm going to tell y'all why. So a year ago, right, when I first started, building as an entertainer, as a content creator, and when I had an idea about starting a podcast, I was highly inspired by someone who has a podcast. It's called Sippin with Sammie. And in that time, Sippin with Sammie was interested in April Facts at the very beginning, when a lot of people really wasn't sure. I don't know, who is she? Blah, 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 blah. And Sammie said, what's up? You want to come on the show? And he gave me a chance. And a year later, we're here. And I have to say this too. I turned 39 years old on Sammie's podcast, and I just turned 40 last month, and you're on my podcast.
God bless.
What's up, Sammie?
Hey, man, it's the one and only Mr. Fly Shit Only, Sippin with Sammie, Sam Malone, Barstool Rug. If you ain't sipping with Sammie, you ain't sipping right. Please get your fucking life together. And I'm in here with April Facts, man. I feel good.
Oh, my God.
I feel good.
You're on the other side.
I like being on this side.
Oh, my God.
This
How
side
does
is
it
fun.
feel to be on that side?
Way less stressful because, see, the misconception is that we just talk or we're just giving our opinion. But when you're running a show, you're wearing about 4 or 5 different hats simultaneously, whether you realize it or not. You keeping time. You got to communicate with the other room. All type of things have to be in sync. And you're gauging your guest and the energy of the conversation. It's a lot. It ain't just talking. Now I just get to talk shit.
Right. Do you remember when you interviewed me and I had all these damn questions?
We had a conversation.
Oh, yeah. I was like, well, how do you do this? How do I? And you were giving me game, Sammie. When I tell you, like, for over the years, right? I didn't realize what was in me, right? And I let my environment tell me that I couldn't do it, right? Which is why I feel like I'm starting late, right? But when I met you, you were giving it to me. Like, you weren't intimidated about what you already seen in me. You wanted to enhance it. Let me put you on. You know why? Because you already know who Sammie is already. And I appreciate that.
That's part of it. And like, I spend my life intentionally paying things forward.
Okay.
I've been put in a lot of positions that I may or may not have deserved to be in, but I've slid into them easily. People have assisted me and put me in places. And when I got there, other people helped me from even jobs. My first job in the kitchen. It's my first time learning how to really hold a knife and cut.
Okay.
And all of the other, it's 10 other cooks in the kitchen. And one thing they said was, we like you because you listen. So me listening made me able to progress and do what I did in that field. But it's like, that's everything. Even when I was in college, it was guys that were struggling, college students just like me. They were just a little older. They made sure I was good on every level.
Right.
And some of them not here no more. So you can't pay them back. So I'm paying it through y'all. And I like to see it. It's dope. You just need information.
Ain't that the shit
that I could give you 15 minutes of conversation and you could do this.
Come on.
What else you want to talk about?
Come on. That's why I said this is full circle. Just a conversation. It was just a thought. And at the time this is why you can't listen to nobody, because you'll never do shit if you listen to the naysayers, right?
Absolutely.
Gilly got a podcast. Such and such got a podcast. Fuck it. And I'm a one-man band. And you're a one-man band.
Mostly. Shout out to Sunny Brick. She did start with me and she's been back and forth.
Yes. Shout out to her.
Mostly just me, yeah.
Okay. So I consider you to be like a hip hop historian, because you know your shit, Sammie. Sammie is the last motherfucker you want to argue with when it comes to some hip hop culture shit, okay? And I'll start an argument with people. I don't give a fuck, but I ain't fucking with you too much, Sammie. Because you'll go there right with me, but real calm. So what do you think about hip hop right now and the direction that it's going? In addition to that, hip hop now is what, 50 years old now?
They counted 50.
They counted 50. By the way things are going.
And we'll celebrate that. We'll celebrate any milestone that we have because we've been here thus long and then some. But we'll count that. That we'll just say 63 or 75, whatever you know. Just count it how you know, but celebrate.
Do you think hip hop is going to be around for another 50? Do you think it's here to stay, or is it still a fad?
I think that we are way beyond the fad stage because we were one of the first genres that were an entire culture. There were genres that had dress codes, so to speak, you know, zoot suits and whatever have yous, and that was the way you went to the jam. Cool.
Okay.
But we have entire cultures that have transcended across the globe. Like, you'll hear old school rappers that at one point couldn't get a decent paying show in the States. Not to say they couldn't get a show, but not a show that they would consider worth what they was worth.
Okay.
They always was able to go overseas and get a bag and stay over there for a month. So the culture transcends greatly beyond what we even account for. A lot of times we measure hip hop by the radio, and that's crazy because who listens to the radio?
Right.
Anyway, like if you listen to the radio, that's by choice. You ain't gotta listen to what they playing.
Hip hop is a lifestyle. I know for me, hip hop is the way I dress. Hip hop is the way I speak. Hip hop is the way I problem solve. And that's
for better or worse.
Okay. Because listen, so
we dangerous.
So here's the thing. Talking about hip hop. So I'm a professional during the day, and then I'm this hip hop, person outside of that. But I've blended those two worlds because I feel like hip hop is a part of my identity.
It's became part of mainstream society's identity too. A lot of words, terms, the way we name restaurants, the way we name movies, music, and all of that. If you look before we started getting our hands in things or getting acknowledged for things or started having things blow up to a certain percentage, these movie titles was horrible. These commercials was boring. You could still see them. Like we could still watch a video that shows us all of that stuff and everything was dry. Everything was bland. Nothing had pop to it. Okay. Like we train people mentally and visually in a way that they don't even realize, and they hate us.
Come on.
They hate us, but they would not name that chicken spot Phil and Son's Chicken no more. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Now it's Snapping Jack's Wings. Like, it's different.
Right.
Like, we affected everything. I think the worst part and the thing that is going to affect us the most, because we get the worst of everything that happens in this country, is the business side of it. The business, the streaming era, not being able to get a grasp on it, knowing that whoever gets a grasp on it is still going to control the lion's share of it. Okay. Even though we're at an age where we feel like we have control, you can't just be a rapper. You have to be a personality and an entity and an energy.
Yes.
Or, I mean, just, you can't be a musician or an artist. You have to be all of those things, which isn't fair because some of our most creative people are like hermits. You know what I mean? They're not outgoing people. They don't.
To your point. Yeah. Oh my God, Sammie, you are so on point. Like, and not to make this about me, but I just want to make a connection here. So I am very social. Very social.
Butterfly.
But I love being in my shell. And I don't know if it's because I enjoy being by myself. And I would contribute school to that because I was on that journey alone and didn't have much support.
Okay.
That I liked, like, oh shit, I like this with me time. Because I always made myself available to everybody. But I enjoy my alone time. And sometimes, like, people, they can't adjust to me setting boundaries. Like, do you have to often set boundaries? Because you're very social too, but very introverted as well. Like, how do you balance that?
Sad to say, I'm usually never even in public sober. I don't really like talking that much. Like, and now I'm in a position where I have to talk. I have to drink with people. Like, they get offended if I say I'm not taking a shot. It's like, bro, I'm already drunk. Like, I gotta drive. Like, or not drunk, but I'm already buzzed. I gotta drive. But it's like, it's one of those things. Like, I gotta speak to everybody in the room. I gotta be gracious. I might have to do a drop, an interview. Like, I have to be on so much that when I don't feel like it, I don't go nowhere. If I'm not obligated, I don't really go out randomly anymore. Okay. You know what I mean? But usually my tactic is to get a couple shots in me, get a brew in me, and smoke something, and I get with y'all. But a lot of people, it doesn't come natural to. And I think in some ways it comes natural to me because I was raised in a barbershop. Okay. But at other times, you got to put it in perspective, right? Anything that's strenuous as a job, just as something that you do for a portion of the day, you're not supposed to do more than 5 to 10 years before you switch positions and do something else and give your energy to something else. You have to do the same thing when you always giving to other people. You burning yourself out for 30 years straight. Yes. You took 3 to worry about you and you feel guilty. That means you're a good person. But it ain't about when they ready.
Yeah. Sammie, you be giving the game, man. Nah, man. So you spoke about you being raised in a barbershop, and I learned that your father just retired. Okay, well-known barber in West Philadelphia. Share a little bit about him and what that life was, being like a shop baby in a sense.
Definitely a shop baby. Never heard it that way, but it's true. My grandfather had a 4th grade education.
Okay.
They took him out of school, put him in the fields. He worked with the family. By the time he was an adult and he got with my grandma, they moved up this way.
Okay.
At some point, he lied to somebody with a barbershop and told him he could cut hair. So hold the fuck up. So hold the fuck up. This is how I got this story.
Dad got the barbershop.
My grandfather.
Grandfather got the barbershop.
My grandfather.
Okay. Let me. I'm so impulsive and crazy. Go ahead, Sammie, and then I'll interject. Go ahead.
I'm glad because they might have missed it too. But my grandfather, and this is eons ago. So he lies to the guy that runs the shop, asking for a chair, tells him he knows how to cut. The guy gives him a chair. Okay. He gives all the haircuts for half off. Until he figures out how to cut. When he figures, and mind you, haircuts was real basic back then. He was just
practicing on people coming in
the shop.
Oh my fucking God! What year was it? Was this in the 70s?
No, this before that. This before the 70s.
So how was they wearing their hair then? Because I'm a hairstylist. The cut was
real basic. The cut was basically taking it down or rounding it off or whatever the style was, or putting some of that. Whatever in your head. Yeah.
That Malcolm X stuff?
Yeah, but it wasn't about the line. Nobody had the sharp lines, and you wasn't worried about the beards. You was trying to keep it to a mustache back then. You might have a little thing right here. You know what I mean? It was
barbering
basic.
Wasn't as detailed as it is today.
Especially not Philly barbering like it is now. Philly barbers is on a whole nother level. But like...
Sure is.
But I grew up through that transition. Okay. But like after he learned how to cut... He got himself a shop and taught everybody in the house how to shave a balloon with a straight razor. My aunt knew how to do it. My grandma knew how to do it. My uncle knew how to do it. My dad knew how to do it. And when you were tall enough to see over the back of the chair, you put your wagon down and stopped carrying groceries for people, and you started cutting hair.
Okay.
So when they was 12, 13 years old, they started cutting hair. When my dad got to a certain age, he bought the barbershop. Okay. My grandfather bought another one. My uncle got to a certain age. He bought that one. Okay. They paid my grandfather every month, till he passed, and took care of my grandmom off of that. But the barbershop was open 70 plus years. My dad has been in that barbershop over 60 years of his life.
Damn.
Yeah, so they named the street after him.
So that's fucking dope and well deserving. They named the street after him. And I seen that on your page. So
it's on my set. I got the sign on my set.
Okay, so the movie Barbershop that Ice Cube made. Can you relate to that? Because it seems like similar stories.
We can all relate to what he was trying to get across, because there's a lot of, for cinematic value, you force a lot of things into a few days worth of a barbershop, but a lot goes on in a barbershop. Like, I have so many different kinds of uncles. Like, rest in peace, Judge Merriweather. Like, when he found out I was going to Morgan State, I could have asked him for a Jag. He might have got it for me. Like, he was just so excited. Wow. You know what I mean? It's like, you have judges, you have boxers, you have fishermen, all types of black men that are in there arguing over the Eagles and the Steelers.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me tell you something. I think that is very dope. Because as I shared with you, I'm a retired hairstylist, right? And my kids grew up in the shop. And sometimes I'm like, how do you know about this? How do you know about that? But they were shop babies. They were, their ears were just exposed to the information. Now, speaking of the information, because you are a content creator, and we spend a lot of time on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, whatever the case may be. And a lot of things are trending. Like when somebody start doing something, the other person start doing something like for example, I am such and such, and I'm in like that whole Instagram thing that's going on now. What are you tired of seeing on Instagram?
What am I tired of seeing on Instagram?
What's oversaturated, Sammie?
What's oversaturated? I think that a lot of women don't know how to post themselves without throwing an indirect shot at other women. And or not necessarily always giving us the punchline. Like, I'm cute, I'm a baddie, or addressing haters all the time. Like, I think it's too much, and I think that
I'm guilty of it.
And I think that it shows where your energy is more than where somebody else's might be. They might have said something about you for 30 seconds. You still holding it. You know what I'm saying? And you letting it affect your other 3,000 followers.
Okay. Now, can I respond to that, Sammie? I'm glad. I like your insight, Sammie. Because, like, for me, I try to, on my platform, give people insight on who I am before they have the opportunity to meet me. Like, absolutely. I say publicly, like, listen, this is what I go for. This is what I do not go for. And I'm guilty of responding to nonsense, right? I'm in the moment. And sometimes it's good content. It gets their attention. But thinking about it on a deeper level, it's like, to your point, is right. Like, something that happened in 30 seconds, like, you took the time to do that. So I'm going to go through my shit and be like, did I respond? All right, I'm going to delete that.
There was a president.
Because I'm straightforward.
There was a president that wrote like 200, 300 angry letters. And I don't know if you know this story, but he wrote them and he put them in the drawer.
Okay.
Might send them. They stayed in the damn drawer. It's just like when you start typing something and you like, should I push send? I done deleted a lot of stuff. I'm guilty of wanting to respond, wanting to posture, wanting to do certain things. There's certain things going on out here that are directly because of me or towards me. Okay. And I can say something slick that only that person knows. Right. But it's 4,000 other people I'm supposed to be talking to.
And I know you can, because what I admire the most about you, Sammie, is that you're a very tactful individual. And I know you could go there because you're an intelligent brother. You could say some shit that'll make somebody cry, but you don't. So that means you have emotional intelligence. And that's something that I'm still growing in. That's something that I'm still working on. So we are running out of time, unfortunately, Sammie. We've been going.
I've been having a ball.
You've been having a ball.
Yeah, this is fun.
Thank you so much. One, thank you for believing in me. Because a lot of times in the beginning, like, and I'm still in the beginning because I'm still new.
And I still believe in you.
You do. I feel that. And I know you do, because you had me on your show before you knew who I was going to be. So we locked in. Yeah, so I want you back.
Absolutely.
The Sippin' with Sammie takeover April Facts.
Yep.
This ain't no co-host. He's hosting.
It's going to be fun.
He's hosting and I'm going to be his co-host.
We're going to have a blast.
Yeah, let's do it. And that's the April Fact. Coming from the accountability coach. Good evening. The fuck?